stories to share. This I heard a number of years ago and it piqued my interest. A girlfriend of mine was taking a class with her best friend from Donna Eden. And shortly after the class 4 had started, an emergency phone call came in for the friend that her son had been in a horrific work accident. He worked construction and was working with a jackhammer and hit a live electrical wire. Needless to say, he was severely burned and was very lucky that his heart did not trip. They airlifted him to a hospital as he was in severe condition. In the time that they got the call and the story was shared, the mother was on her way en route to the hospital to meet up with the son. Donna Eden was teaching an energy medicine class and had requested the participants in the class to take their focused energy and intention and direct it towards her so that she could take that energy and focus it on the son. When the son arrived at the emergency room, everybody was surprised that his skin was already turning pink and was healing. The doctors did their evaluation and they had no explanation as to how that could possibly be so, because he was severely burned and effectively electrocuted. He had a full recovery. What accounts for this miraculous healing? I've read many of Donna's books and had fully intended on taking her training back in time when the classes were very small and they were offered at Esalen on the coast of California. As it turned out, the timing never worked. Currently, I'm in a 4-year certification program under Eden Energy Medicine, which is taught based on the tenets of traditional Chinese medicine. Some of the things that are included are anatomy, acupressure, color, sound, the 5 elements, chakras, hormones, and a host of other things, but a real focus on self-care. As we're all aware, we're in COVID, and this year things have had to look completely different than they have in the past. This is a very hands-on program. In prior years, when we did the training, we would receive the materials and we would listen to the lectures and hear the theory and then practice hands-on the protocols. And it was a lot of information to receive in a 4-day period. And this year, my class 6 is at the end of October. I've already received the material and have access to the videos. Because of COVID, we're doing it differently. One of the things that in years past, there was all this information and there was additional information that they never went over in class. It kind of added color to the things that we were learning. I received the materials in the mail and I was organizing them to put into my binders. And lo and behold, a section on breech birth opens up. And I'm like, oh, surprise, no accident. There are no accidents. One of the gals in my office is pregnant and is due the 1st of October. So I reached out to her thinking that she might be interested in the information and to avail them of my services, that I would explain the protocols to her and her husband, and then also speak a little bit about energy medicine. As we were talking through the logistics of making the timing work for both, she was reminded of a story. Her father had had lung cancer a handful of years ago, and the attending physician had said to the dad, just have your daughter raise her hands above your lungs whenever you think about it, and actually provided no further explanation. The father's alive today and no longer has lung cancer. So I went up a couple of weekends ago on a Sunday to speak with the husband and wife and to talk to them about what the most important thing is in a healing session, which is really your intention that you set for the session. So not to sound religious, but I shared with them how I think about setting an intention. And God said, let there be light, and then the light was manifest into physical form. So what happens is we have the thought before things happen or change in the material world. One of the things that I did with them that I'll ask you to do with me as well is that when we started the session, I asked them to rub their hands together vigorously. You guys can follow along with me. And then pull your hands apart and see if you feel anything. Do you feel heat, tingling, resistance, energy? And if in fact you do feel something, how far apart can your hands go before you stop feeling that? I turned to the husband and said, did you feel anything? And he's like, nope. And I'm like, that's okay. You don't need to feel anything. I also explained to them that I have a really large faith. I have a big belief that things can be healed with energy medicine and other modalities. And I'm a huge skeptic. Like, I hold both things at the same time, and that's perfectly okay. We started the session by, I put my hand counterclockwise over her second chakra, which is where the belly is. And you could see that the baby was reacting to the energy. That was really quite exciting. I was surprised as well. When we ended up concluding the session, I had requested permission from them to continue to work the protocols along with them remotely. So here comes Friday. I get this ecstatic phone call that they had just come back from the doctor's office, and they had gone to the doctor's office for a pre-op appointment to whatever they do for to do a C-section. Turns out they canceled the C-section. The baby is in the right position to come gloriously into this world. Is that a miracle? Was this the result of all of us being in service to the highest and greatest good for the mother and child? Was there divine timing in me having this information now and not at the end of October when my class is? The parents believe it's a miracle. And honestly, quite frankly, I'm not sure it really matters. What I do know is that love, intention, and focused energy impacted this situation, and I am delighted and thrilled to have participated in this in any small way. Do you believe in miracles? Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Audrey.